We're back at Grit Won't Quit, and we have our friend Ben Ross here from Green Payments. And today we're going to start a new segment, and Ben's going to be our first guy on it because he was one of our first podcasters way back a year ago. And it's, tell us about your first sale.
So my first sale, it's hard to remember back to it, but I would have to say it was selling lemonade and iced tea on the street. So growing up, the first house that I grew up in was in Atlantic Highlands, and it was a small, kind of very, had an old time feel neighborhood. And we would set up a table. Our parents let us just kind of sit out there, cars passing by, people walking by. We would sell to them.
Did your mom charge you back for the lemonade so that you got to understand hard costs?
It's a great question. I don't think so.
Right.
But later when I was selling candy and gum in school, which is probably, a little on the line there, but I do think I paid for that. We'd buy it at Costco and then, sell it at school, $1 a piece. But I do think I technically paid for that then.
All right, so she gave you a break on the lemonade,
Yeah.
But by the time you got to high school, she was like,
Correct.
Buddy, let's go.
That was middle school, but yeah.
Great. So now how does that first sale, what were some of the things you took away from that first sale that that are part of your life today?
I think it's the communication and the interpersonal side of it. Being able to communicate with someone and ask, right? And say, hey, do you want it? Wave them down and not be afraid of it, not feel shy, not feel insecure.
A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people don't feel comfortable with rejection on the phone or on email or to say to somebody, hey, do you need our services?
Yeah. To me, it's the number one skill, because no matter what you do, even whether you're in an administrative role that has nothing to do with sales or you're actually out actively selling something, the reality is even in that administrative role, you have to sell what you're doing to whoever you're doing it with and sell your ideas, and that ability to kind of put it out there and know that it may get rejected is huge. And so, I think to me that was the number one skill, to learn that at 5, 6 years old. You're waving, holding a little sign, and then they just drive by and you're like, they didn't get it. But then the next one comes and they do. And that's that.
We'll go off script for a second. So
Sure.
About a week ago, I'm driving home from work at 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. I said to my wife, listen, don't cook tonight. We'll go out and grab something to make your life easier. Yeah. And these kids are selling. I live in Ocean Township. These kids are selling on right by the school, but it's a main road. It's so I say to my wife, I go, listen, I know we have to go right, but we're gonna go left first. She's like, what are you doing? I said, oh, these kids are selling lemonade.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make them a sale, but I'm also gonna teach them a lesson. So I drove into the parking lot of the school and I said, guys, you're on a main road. I said, you can't. It's very hard to make sales. You got to wave them down to get them into the parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, the next night when they thanked me. I gave them $5 for a couple of lemonade. They were thrilled. And then the next night I saw them on a smaller street. So they didn't want to give me the satisfaction really at the time, but the next day they were on a smaller street.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were selling better.
The side streets are good. Slow, calm, you can get the sale.
Exactly. Well, thank you for giving your insights on your first sale.
No doubt.
You're the man.
Always good being here.
We're here with Marco Reyes from Reyes Royalty Construction. How are you today?
Pretty good, Tom. Good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for agreeing to wanting to be on the new segment of Grit Won't Quit called Our First Sale. So tell me, when was your first sale? What did you sell? How'd you sell it? How'd you feel after it? What was that experience as a first-time entrepreneur?
So I've been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember. It came with, my mom and dad always being entrepreneurs and trying to better their lives. But my first sale for Reyes Royalty Construction, I would say, and I remember it very vividly. I was still at my, I want to call it,
Working
9 to
full-time.
5. Yeah, my full time before I was an entrepreneur. Full time. I was working at a dealership, and I was kind of putting all my ducks in a row. And I did my first sale, and my first sale was completely power washing a cedar siding house, getting it clean and prepping it, and then also restaining it. And it was like a 4,000 square foot home, like three levels.
Where was it? What town?
It was out in Jackson in the woods. Right?
All right. How did they find you?
It was a referral. So remember, I started doing this line of work, construction work. Primarily painting with my father on the weekends. because I had a 9 to 5 job. So I had a little bit of a referral group with my father, and that was the first one. And I talked to them before I gave him a quote, and I said, this is going to be from here on out. Like previously, I was just kind of one of those weekend warriors, nothing legit, no insurance, no overhead, nothing. So prices reflected that, but I told them straight up, this is going to be, you're my first customer, so it's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be the same quality work. But yeah, that was my first sale. It was so nerve-wracking, so exciting at the same time.
Like when you signed that piece of paper, you must have felt like a rock star.
Yeah. And back then it was like a $6,000 job, and I was like, over the moon about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is awesome. And then, now fast forward 4 years later, you look at those $6,000 jobs like nothing. They are something. We live off of all the small and the big. But we've done jobs in the 6 digits. So it just to compare the two. But yeah, it's amazing, and it's amazing to look back and reflect on where you were, where you are, and then where you want to be. But it's a beautiful feeling.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thanks for sharing your first sale.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.